guys, Crobat for the win here again today, bringing you a battle versus HydreigonMaster635, and has a pretty cool Pokemon channel on YouTube, so I recommend you go check him out. And so he's going to start with an Abomasnow, and that's going to bring the Hail. So I'm going to start with my Metagross just to set the Stealth Rock up, and I don't think that Abomasnow can really do that much to Metagross, maybe just a Leech Seed. So he's going to send in Infernape to scare me away. I'm going to go into Politoed. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to go for the U-turn, and that's honestly fine. I know Politoed can take those all day anyways. So he goes back into Abomasnow to set up the Hail, which is kind of a decent play, but I'm glad I got a little Stealth Rock damage on that thing, so it's not too bad. And I'm going to obviously switch out because I'm fearing some kind of Grass-type move, and I go out into Metagross now because I know I can wall this thing. He does go for the sub, which hurts a little bit. But I know that I carry priority, and I can take any move from this thing. So I'm just going to go for the Bullet Punch, just really to break the sub. I highly doubt that thing would have outsped anyways. So he's going to get the Leech Seed up, and that is kind of bad. I mean, I think I stay in here, but that still is going to give him a little bit of HP back, which I definitely don't want to do for too long. So he does switch out now, and he goes out into his Fortress. So I'm going to just go for the Hammer Arm, kind of predicting that switch, because if I went for a Steel type move, it would have been resisted. I mean, it doesn't do any damage at all, but what can I do? Now, he's going to get Leech Seed, and I know I have to switch this time, unfortunately, so I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go into Politoed, because I know the worst thing this thing can do is Volt Switch, and that won't do all that much, because that's going off of Fortress's 60 special attack, base 60 rather, and yeah, probably no investment at all. So he's going to go into Genesect, and he gets a special attack raise, and that's going to hurt a little bit, because special attack raising Genesect is not that good. But he decides to switch out here. He goes into Heatran, predicting me to switch, and that was a great prediction on his part, because I go in my Magnezone, which is Specs Analytic. So I'm going to switch out because I don't want to get hit with the Fire type move, and I'm thinking, I thought at the time this thing may have been Scarved, but I don't know, I probably just didn't even pay attention. So he's going to set up the Stealth Rocks, and now I'm going to go out to Latios, but switch right back out into Metagross, predicting him to switch. So he goes out into Abomasnow, anticipating the Surf, but once again I predicted that and went to Metagross. So here I am going to, I switch out because I predicted him to switch again, and I went into Politoed. So he does switch, which is good. I knew it. He goes into Latias, which is not the switch I predicted, but it's still not bad either. I don't think he has anything to immediately threaten me. I still switch out though, because I know the Draco Meteor is likely coming, and I'm going to, or Dragon Pulse I suppose, and I know I can resist it with Metagross. I see this thing's leftovers, and I don't ever see Latias' choice in any way. It's always Latios. So now I switch out into Genesect because I know I can either scare it away or go for a U-turn or something on a switch. And he goes for the Hidden Power Fire, and that was kind of bad. But I still live it thanks to the rain, and I knew I could even if he went for it. So I do decide to just go for the U-turn here despite getting the special attack raise. So I'm going to go out now. I'm going to go into Magnezone. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to bait the Fire type move so I can get a safe switch into Tentacruel, or fairly safe switch, and get some decent damage on the Infernape. Not like it got a lot, but got some Life Orb and stuff. So we see that Tentacruel has the what's it called, the Rain Dish and leftovers, and it also lives out of Thunder Punch, so that's pretty cool. I just go for Rapid Spin now because I need to get the rocks and stuff away. So I'm going to switch out now because I don't want to take another Thunder Punch, and I go into Metagross here. I knew I could take one, but he does go make a nice play and goes for the U-turn. Unfortunately, he gets a crit. It sort of mattered, but not really. And that's kind of, oh well, I can't worry about that. So I'm going to get some lefties, thankfully, because I'm in red. And now I can't stay in, so I'm going to switch out and go into Magnezone and trap this thing. But I know it can go for a Volt Switch to get out. Now it can't switch now, though. That's the good thing. So I'm going to go for Volt Switch myself, because I don't really want to stay in against this thing, just in case it has the Earthquake. And either way, I was pretty sure it would KO. So I'm going to go into Genesect, because because I know I can try to do Volt Turn and whatever. He does go for a Mach Punch, in that I do live with 7 HP, which is really cool. So I just go for the U-turn because I knew after Life Orb Recoil, Mach Punch, and whatnot, I knew I could live 1. I knew that after like Life Orb Recoil and whatever, I could KO with the U-turn. So now he goes into Abomasnow, and I go for the Side Shock. I thought that would KO because, you know, usually these things are specially defensive, but I guess not. That's kind of unfortunate. And he's gonna get a lot of health back with the Leech Seed and the leftovers and whatnot. So he's gonna go into Heatran now, and I just go for the Side Shock again. Not really looking to overpredict too much right now. Probably not a great play in hindsight, but oh well. So now I'm gonna have to switch because I'm choiced, and he gets Leech Seed, which I definitely don't want. And I'm gonna go into Politoed because I'm pretty sure I could resist any hit. And I feel okay taking the Toxic if he had it, because Politoed's not. I mean, I know that I can check the rest of the pokes on his team with other things. So I do take the Toxic, and that's, like I said, honestly fine. I go for the Focus Blast, and I knew it wouldn't KO, but yeah, it does nothing. I actually predicted him to switch into Abomasnow there. That's why I went for the Focus Blast rather than the Scald. So that's kind of unfortunate. And I don't want poison damage to rack up, so I go into Metagross just as Death Fodder, or just in case he predicted another switch and went for a Toxic, but mostly Death Fodder. So I go into Latios now, and he's going to go for a Protect, which was a very good play on his part, and I just go for the Surf. So he knows what I'm locked into, and he knows I'm choiced at this point, so I do switch out. I go back into Magnezone, predicting the switch into Abomasnow, or Latias for that matter. So he's going to go for a Calm Mind, and this thing's probably defensive too. I go for the Hidden Power Ice, and look how much this does to +1 extremely bulky Latias. Specs Analytic Magnezone can, well, at least if it was stayed +1, it would be able to 2-hit KO super bulky Latias. Unfortunately, he gets to the second Calm Mind, and that kind of hurts. So I'm going to have to switch and try to use a physical attack. And you do get the attack raise as he goes for a cover. So that's really nice. I get to try to go for the U-turn here, but I do go for the U-turn. And he does live, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm going to have to go into my Latios and try to outspeed just to hit it and KO this thing. Any attack at this point should be able to KO. And I do go for the Draco just in case he decided to switch, so I could at least get better damage on Heatran or something. Now he does go into Heatran, and obviously I have to switch out with my lowered special attack, so I'm going to go into Magnezone, kind of, sort of as Death Fodder, but he does just go for the Stealth Rock, which is honestly fine. And I'm pretty sure I could live a Lava Plume anyways. No, I definitely can. So I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch here because I don't have any reason to stay in. And it does quite a decent chunk. Gotta admit, that's specially defensive Heatran, 252 HP, 252 special defense. That's not too bad. So I do send in my Tentacruel here, and I know that a Scald should do some decent damage here. He now goes into his own Genesect and gets a download boost for his attacks. I go for a Rapid Spin because I need to get those rocks away. I don't want to take the extra Stealth Rock damage. So this thing is obviously not a choiced Genesect, it's a Rock Polish one. He just goes for the Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, that's going to KO, but I really had nothing I wanted to take a Thunderbolt. Nothing really good, at least. Nothing that wouldn't be 2-hit KO'd. So now he goes for the Bug Buzz against Magnezone, predicting me to switch into Latios, but I don't. I go for a Thunder, and Choice Specs Analytic murders that Genesect, so that was pretty awesome. He goes into Abomasnow now, and I decide to switch here. I gotta go into Politoed because, you know what, if I want someone to finish the match, Politoed is the one to do it. And he goes for a Leech Seed, which is unfortunate, and I kind of predicted that, but oh well. Now, I probably should have went for the Volt Switch there, in hindsight, so that way I could have got the Leech Seed away, but oh well. So I'm going to get hurt by Poison. I go for the Toxic here, because I know that that's going to be the most effective way to wear him down. He does go for the Sub, and good thing I outsped there, because if I didn't outspeed, that would have been horrible for me. So he's going to get some Leech Seed and leftovers, and I know I'm going to have to probably switch here. Yeah, and I do. I go into Magnezone, kind of sort of as Death Fodder. I mean, I just need to get rid of the Leech Seed, because I know Politoed can win the match at this point. and I just have to stall him out. So Magnezone goes down, but it did pretty good this match, so I can't complain. And now I'm going to go into Genesect, kind of just to stall Toxic, which is honestly alright. I just break the sub because I know I have to, and I know this thing will probably KO me. It does with a Blizzard, and like I said, that's totally fine. I need to stall turns of Toxic. So, he's going to lose some nice health to Toxic. And I'm just going to go into my Politoed and hopefully hit a Focus Blast. And I actually predicted here that he'd switch into Heatran, so I went for a Scald actually. So that was pretty awesome. And I know Politoed can win the game at this point because it's Politoed. Come on now. So I'm just going to go for a Focus Blast for the KO. Thankfully it hits. If it didn't, I don't think he had a Grass type move, so I probably could have lived a hit. But that was a great game. HydreigonMaster635, and he has a YouTube channel and he posts battles, so I recommend you go check the channel out. And rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and peace out.